Hey everyone, and welcome back to Life as a Law Student. As many of you know by now, my name is Nicole, and I'm a 1L at Washington University Law School, and wow, is it a struggle. I know the hashtag in the title is pretty outdated by 2020, but I couldn't think of a single more relevant way to title this video. Because it is only the third week of the semester and I'm already drowning in how much work there is for me to do. Some of the struggles are very much the ones that I have expected since before I went to law school, but there are a decent few that were unexpected and I would have liked to know to, I guess, sort of mentally prepare ahead of time. I'm not sure that there's a lot that pre-law students can do to mitigate these things before they're in law school, but at least knowing what to expect and knowing which struggles are actually real and not over-exaggerated by people like me, I think is helpful. So that's what we're doing today, is talking about struggles that I expected and struggles that I very much did not, so at least you know what you're getting yourself into. The first struggle of law school that I expected but would have liked to see myself compensate for by now is that of getting into a regular exercise and fitness routine. Now, I'm already somebody who doesn't particularly enjoy working out, going to the gym, taking care of myself, but I know that it's important, and I really made such an effort last semester to do something regularly that was going to help my body be at its best so that my mind could be focused on law school. However, as everyone who knows me probably would have guessed, I fell off that wagon about 2 months in, and especially when finals hit, just really did not even try. So now that we're into a new semester, I'm hoping to try again. The thing that I didn't expect was to see how much my body would change as a result of not exercising in law school. I've always had a pretty forgiving metabolism and haven't seen a lot of negative effects on my body or attitude as a result of not exercising or even eating properly throughout my life. And it's something I definitely took advantage of. I wouldn't say I took it for granted because I very much knew that it was something that I was benefiting from. In law school, that has totally gone away. I've definitely seen changes in my body that I'm not happy about, and more so than that, I have felt changes in my body. So my posture has never been like fantastic, but my neck and shoulders and back have been aching, especially the last 2 weeks getting back into school and hunching over all my books and trying to sit up straight in class, but being just way too tired to do that for 8 hours a day. All that to say, I really need to start exercising, and especially figuring out what exercises I can do to help my posture. In the meantime, I literally purchased a posture corrector on Amazon, and I think it's helping, but this is ridiculous and I've never had to deal with it before. Didn't expect that, so I guess try to sit up straight where you can. The other thing related to health that I didn't think would be that much of a struggle for me was this temptation to do a lot of snacking throughout the day, especially at night. Now, I was in college for 4 years and I was hungry and I studied and worked a lot, and I don't feel like that was ever really a problem. After dinner, I was pretty much good to go. Maybe I needed like a mozzarella stick or some carrots or something like 3 hours later if I was having a late night. But especially being here in my own apartment where everything is mine, including all of the food, it's a little harder. I've tried really hard to mitigate it, but especially because now I'm driving everywhere and not walking as much, even those little snacks that I do have here and there, I can really tell take a toll on my body that I am not compensating for on the other end with exercising. Some more of my expected struggles from law school include getting to know people and networking and justifying doing fun things. Everybody tells you that to be like the best law student, you have to just do law school and nothing else. I think I've mentioned this before in another video, but during my orientation, my whole class was literally advised by an outside source to break up any relationships that we were in because law school would take that much time, dedication, and energy, and you wouldn't be able to spend it on anything else like friends or romance or family. I have not been in a relationship for a while, so that wasn't and hasn't really been an issue for me, at least right now. But I think while that advice is total crap, and please don't ever do that or think about doing that, there is a definite truth at the heart of all that, which is law school does take a lot of time, and so do relationships, especially new ones. So investing in friendships with my classmates classmates or even friendships that I've had for a while since high school or college has been really difficult because even the times when I'm not busy, those people might be busy. And as an introvert, the experiences where I kind of have to get to know people, aka networking, is really exhausting, and sometimes all I want to do is lay on my couch and watch Netflix and eat all those snacks that I'm not supposed to be having. So the social struggles of law school were definitely something that I expected, hand in hand with the struggles of how much time it would take to do homework and my own problematic tendencies for procrastination. But what I didn't think would be as much of a factor going into that big mush pot of struggling would be how unpredictable my schedule in law school is. I would have thought that it would be much more predictable than it was in college, but that is not the case. Because of different ABA requirements, classes have to meet a certain number of hours in class and outside of class, and so when there's a missed class, it kind of throws off the whole next week so that you can make it up. On top of that, all the organizations in law school are run and participated in by law students who, as previously mentioned, have competing busy schedules, and so when we do meet up and do things, it's kind of sporadic and not as organized as I would like it to be. You never can really predict until the week before, or maybe even week of, what the next week's meetings will look like. And so there will be weeks where Monday through Friday everything goes as planned. I have classes where they're supposed to be and there's no lunch meetings. But what is normally the case is 1 or 2 classes have shifted around. There's 2 or 3 competing lunch meetings. I have to meet with 2 to 3 professors at whatever office hours times, work for them, and then whatever outside school commitments I've made. And all of that changes all the time, which kind of drives me nuts because I'm a very scheduled person. I did a video on that too, which you can watch right here if you'd like to. I have 2 more struggles in law school that I did not expect coming in. And the first one was how difficult, tedious, and chaotic the summer job application process would be. First of all, you have to apply for all of your summer jobs pretty much over Christmas and then going into the beginning of the next semester. So I've probably applied to about 25 jobs by now, and I have another 10 lined up to do in the next couple weeks. And you would think, okay, just send off a cover letter, resume, bam, bam, bam. But no, because every job requires a different resume, may or may not want your transcript, may or may not want references, may or may not want a writing sample that has to be a certain length or not. And then a lot of those jobs have multiple rounds of interviews. Some jobs will tell you when they've received your applications and some won't. Some will tell you when you can expect to get an answer and some won't. Some will do all of their hiring in the first 2 weeks of January and then you'll be set for the rest of the year. And some you won't probably find out till April or May when you need to literally move several states over to take the job. I think the whole process is absolutely ridiculous. It's super hard to even locate where the applications are for the different positions, and once you do, fulfilling the requirements, meeting the deadlines, and hoping that eventually somebody likes you enough to hire you for unpaid volunteer work is ridiculously stressful. The last struggle about law school that I didn't expect that you need to know about is that different professors have very different teaching styles. I guess this makes sense. This was definitely the case in college as well, but for some reason I had in my mind that law school was much more objective, that everybody taught the same thing, that every student walked away from contracts with the same basic knowledge, that every student walked away from torts knowing what all the torts were. But that isn't the case. And more than that, your experience and probably enjoyment of each course is going to have very little to do with the material that you're learning, but with the person who is teaching it to you. So for example, the class that I thought would be my favorite last semester would have been torts, but I had a professor who I just didn't vibe with, who taught in a very different way to how I think. And I left that class feeling like I totally need to relearn all the material before I take the bar in a couple years. And the same thing is starting to happen this semester, where I thought criminal law, obviously, would be my favorite based on the subject matter, and it is. But right now, I think I much prefer going to my civil procedure and con law courses because the professors teach that material, which is kind of boring and abstract, in a way that actually makes sense to me. Whereas my crim law professor has a much more in the weeds and details focused kind of approach, where I'm more of a big picture person. It's hard for me to understand why I should care about this tiny little detail if I don't know where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. And that's just a me thing. There are plenty of people who have the opposite perspective in these same classes as me, and that will definitely be the case for you. So just something to note, don't go into the class expecting that you're going to know everything about that material when you come out. It's probably going to be pretty dependent on how your teacher thinks about that material and how they communicate it to you. Okay, so I have 10 minutes before I need to head to class, so I'm going to pack up my backpack and get out of here. But I will see you guys next Monday for another video. Thank you so much for watching this one. If you liked it, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, subscribe, bell notification, leave a comment below. You guys know the drill by now. I will see you next week, and until then, God bless.